Well, why you retiring so young? You still young. How old are you?
39.
Oh, so when did you retire?
What shit? A couple of years ago, maybe. I mean, it was the politics, man. It was just a lot of bullshit. Listen, I was grateful the UFC did a lot for me. It helped me. You know, the ups and downs. There was a moment where I didn't have a car. I remember moving out here. Dana helped me out, and you know, I'll never forget that. There were some memorable moments, some memorable people, but you know, at some point in your career, for me at least, it was just my integrity stepped in, and it was like, bro, you can't be selling yourself short. And there was a lot of decisions that was made, and I was like, this is not fair. And they don't like when you say no, you know? So I was like, all right, I got to do this shit. Like, when I fought Sean, I didn't want to fight Sean. And I was 8 at the time, and I'm like, give me top 5. I have 4 wins. And I was trying to get, what's that prick from Britain?
Yeah.
Patty the Baddies?
No. The other British kid.
Michael Bisping?
No.
Well, you said prick, so
he's a prick too.
No, he's cool. Michael Bisping cool.
No, I'm kidding. I forgot his name.
Darren Till.
Darren Till. There you go.
Till.
Yeah.
And I was trying to fight him because he lost 4 fights in a row. I'm like, the fuck you still ranking at 6 for? So I was like, well, give me this dude. I mean, I was hounding him because I knew I could beat him, and they were protecting him. I'm like, that's when I started to see it. I'm like, what? And they were like, give me Sean. Sean was 13 at the time, and I'm like, yeah, but he's Strickland. Strickland. And I didn't want to fight Sean. I'm like, yeah, he's behind me. Give me top 5 or give me 7. Something ahead of me. That's not fair. Something. I was like, all right, fuck it. I'll do it. So I already checked out. And, you know, I had not a lot of people know this, but I had a bad weight cut. And a week prior, I was doing Epsom salt baths too early, but I was doing it because I was sore. So the week of, I remember I was maybe 188. I was like, man, I don't feel good. And I went back in. I knew I should have rested a little more. And by the time I got to 186, man, I start cramping. I'm like, I remember this because it happened for me in Vitor. And I was like, man, I don't feel good, but you got to tough it out. You don't fight, you don't get paid. The weigh-ins, I'm faking it. The whole time I'm just fake. I'm in pain. And I'm like, shit, I think I'm having that thing again. We did the weigh-ins. We went back to the hotel. I told my coach, I don't feel good, man. He's like, just sleep it off. I'm like, no, this is different. We kept it under the hush. I was in ICU. I went to the hospital. They put me on IV. Doctor came in and was like, bro, you had a 0.5. You can't fight. You probably will die. The other doctor came in and was like, well, let's keep him and put him on IV for the whole night. Fuck it. Got an IV. Got out of that. I was like, all right, I'm okay. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, did this shit work? You know?
Yeah, it scares you a little bit.
It did. So walked in there. We're fighters. There's no fucking sick days. We walk in there. I'm fighting Sean. Literally the first 3 punches breaks my orbital. I remember the color of your hat is what I saw in my right eye. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like 3 punches? He has a weird, awkward punch. Mm-hmm. And I'm doing this like, why can I see it in my right eye? You need your vision to see. Mm-hmm. So, all right, I got this. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to move in. And he's so awkward that a couple other hits start to fuck with this eye. So now I have half of this. Mm. And at one point I was doing physics. I was like measuring my distance to hit him with my jab. And there were moments where, I'm not going to lie, I wanted to quit. And I just couldn't because I'm like, I got to figure this shit out. I got to figure it out. There's a couple times I went back to my coach. I'm trying not to show the fucking commissioner that I'm fine. You know, I can't see out of this. My coach kind of saw what's happening. I'm biting down by like round 4. I'm like, I can't see this motherfucker. I'm getting my ass whooped. Even though I lost that fight, I feel like I wanted to battle myself because there were so many moments I wanted to quit. I had no vision. This one was fading. And I knew I could beat him because I used to train before. Not taking anything away from Sean. He's a champ. You know, he's a stud. His last fight did fucking phenomenal. But I just know stylistically I had a good chance right then and there. And that one little merge of error changed everything. So, you know, my mom always says, your disappointment is God's appointment. And that's how I have to stay positive to look at it. It wasn't my night. It wasn't my event. What can I take from it to move forward?
A lot of people would have quit. A lot of people would have quit if you can't see and
25 fucking minutes, man. It sucked. And it happened round 1. So, but a lot of people don't know that. It's like, oh, you pushed out. Like, yep, you're right. 1 and 1 is 5. Yep.